Welcome in, welcome in. We live on all platforms. Welcome in, everybody. Come on in. I gotta go to my settings and get some stuff started. So, welcome in Facebook, uh, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, X or Twitter, and Instagram and TikTok. If I said TikTok twice, I don't know. Anyways, do y'all like the name X or y'all just prefer Twitter? Do y'all still use Twitter or do y'all say X? I don't know why he would take a platform, spend $40 million on something and then change the name of it. But hey, what I know. Welcome in. We're going to get started. So, the question of the hour is how um, how do you start a bit? How do you start the process to buy a business if you've never had? Which majority of people haven't bought a business. But if you ever wanted to get into it, this is where you learn. And for those who are new here, welcome. If you on, YouTube, no, sorry, if you're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, or even TikTok, click the link in the bio and join. Two things. One, join on YouTube if you're watching this from any other platform. It's going to be the same material. It'll actually be the probably same aesthetically look, but YouTube pays me for the views. So I might as well get the AdSense from that, right? You can show support that way. I really don't ask for a lot, but if you're on the other social media platforms, I'm gonna ask you probably to like and all that kind of stuff. But if you're on YouTube, all you got to do is just watch. So yeah, I appreciate that. And also too, if you click the link in the bio or you click on my homepage and you go to either the richgetrichard.com or whatever the link sends you, it will either have a class that's coming up, and in the class we talk about buying businesses, buying real estate, business credit, wholesaling, just every type of method that you want to or heard of. And we talk about that. If you want to join, it's free. I don't sell your information. I don't do nothing with it, but I always like to, I have a team that's out there waiting to help people. So I always try to give a quick shout out. So, anyways, so welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. I see y'all coming in here. So let's get started with the question. The question is, if you wanted to buy a business and you never have, what would you? How would you do it, or how would you go about it? All right. So there's, the things you need to do before it. There's things that you need to do in the middle of, and there's things you need to do afterwards. So it's just not a okay. I liked it. It ain't like something at like Walmart or something. You see like a shirt. Oh man, I like this shirt. It fits me. Let me take it up to the cashier and just buy it. You know, it's a little more extensive as buying a home. So whenever you go to buy a home, if you never bought a home, so you go and you say, hey, let me view your house. And then you get a real estate agent. Generally, you'll get a real estate agent, and the real estate agent will show you around a whole bunch of different houses. And you say, oh man, I like this one. And they'll say, oh, okay, you need to get pre-qualified for the house. Typically, you get pre-qualified before you go in there. So you go and then you get pre-qualified. Now you know how much your budget is, how much you can spend. Let's say if you get pre-qualified for 400, they're not going to show you $1 million houses. It's kind of like that. So you get pre-qualified for the house, and then you go out and you go looking for houses, whatever you qualify for. And then once you find one you like, then you put in an offer, and you say, hey, I want to buy this property at, it's 300,000. I want to pay, 295 plus inspection and all kind of crap. And they'll either agree to it or not. Let's say if they do agree to it, then now you're in the closing process phase, or so now you got to do like home inspection, you got to do termite, you got to do flood damage, and you look for all that other kind of crap that you might have not just missed. And you look to see if the house is sound. And then if everything's good, um, on closing day, you close on the house. The finance company pays for the house, and then now you just move in and you make your monthly payment. Okay, that's the extent of a home. Buying a business is a little more detailed than that. It's because you're buying something, whenever you buy a home, you're going to live in the home. And generally, people pay their mortgage first. And you typically have a job, and the job pays for the mortgage. But when it comes to a business loan, especially when you're buying an existing business, they're going to look at the finances of the business. Hopefully, the business will pay for the loan that you're getting. So now they got to look at to see if the business can even support the loan. Because if the business can't support the loan, then they're not going to give you any money for it. It's about as simple as it gets. If a business costs, you know, $20,000 a month, but the business that is bringing in $15,000 a month, then it's not a good deal, and then vice versa. Let's say if the business costs 20,000, but the business is bringing in $25,000. Well, there's a $5,000 surplus there. So now, in theory or on paper, that's a good deal. So one thing you need to do is you need to focus on you being the best person or making yourself more accessible to be financed for a business. Because if you think about it, you know, whenever you go to apply for a home, whenever you go to apply for a car, whenever you go to apply for a business, you gotta have some stuff together. You go to apply for a credit card and you gotta have a decent credit score. You want to go apply for a car, you need to probably have some money in the bank and or decent credit and or a job. If you want to go buy a house, you need good credit, you need some money saved up, and you need a job. When you buy a business, you're gonna need experience generally, but you can get ways around that. You need some good credit and you need a down payment. And you need to have some kind of idea of where you're going to be at in the next 10 years or 30 years, depending on how long you're going to finance this business. So same thing to get pre-qualified for a business, pre-qualified for a home, pre-qualified for a car. You have to set yourself up to go out there and get this type of stuff. You have to, you have to, there a lot of things in life, a lot of people just wing it, and you can't wing buying a house. You can't wing buying a business. You have to know what you're doing, right? You gotta, okay, cool. I need to do this. Okay, well, I focus on this. I need to focus on this. Okay, what I'm doing this, I need to focus on this. And you need to learn all these steps, right? So let's say if you do meet your credit requirement, and then you do meet the down payment requirement. Okay, well now you need to start finding and looking at businesses. Do they meet the criteria that you're looking for? Do they meet the financial requirements? Do they meet the time requirements? Do they meet um, any conflicting schedules? Because a lot of times people will buy businesses and they think they're buying a business, but they're buying a job. So they'll have like is one person I used to work with, um, and he came across a business for sale, and it had one employee, and the owner was there every day. And then I said, well, you got some options, man. You can either work there, and I think it was bringing in like $150,000 a year to him. You can work there for $150,000, or you can hire somebody else to do that job, and now you'd be making, you probably pay them 50, so now you're down to like 90. Do you want to hire somebody and make 90, or do you want to make the whole 150? He wanted to make the whole 150. And then he said, maybe one day in the future, I'll hire somebody out, but I want to learn everything about this. So whenever I ask somebody else to do it, then I know what's expected of it, which kind of makes sense. So, and I said, okay, cool. I mean, it's your world, man. But those are the type of things that you got to look at. It's just not, you know, Okay, cool. I'm gonna just take over the process, right? You got to see how many hours the existing owner working. Then you also got to do some other due diligence, right? You got to do due diligence on the finances. You got to do due diligence on the employees, the systems, the processes, and really to see if it's gonna make some money. Because if it's not making money, you don't give a shit. You're not buying a system or buying a business that doesn't make money, right? At the at the core of any acquisition of a business, if it doesn't make money, why are we here? You know? And then whenever you do buy that process, are the systems and teams in place for years of longevity and success? You know, was there any weak links in or any kinks in the armor? Was there any weak links that you need to expose of and expunge of as soon as you get in? You know, is there any systems that were flawed that you need to revamp? You know, just for I'll give you some quick ones off top of my head that I always tell people to look at whenever soon as they take over a business. One, I'll say something like, how is uh, like the CPA like payroll stuff? Like how is it? Do do all your finances go to a CPA? They do all the due diligence and then they send out the checks, or do you do that? You just look at the hours and confirm the hours was worked, or like what? How's that process work? All right, is it flawed? Is it over convoluted? Is it too many hands in the pot? How is that? Okay. Something else that is how much debt was acquired for the previous owner that was not a business expense, a recognized business expense. There's some terminology for it, but I'm not gonna get into it. But I'll I'll just say it like that. So let's say if the owner had like a vehicle and they was using it as a business expense, but it's their vehicle. But as soon as they leave, I'm not gonna have that expense no more. So now am I gonna have more money coming in or less money coming in? Is that under this year's stuff? Is it current stuff? And you know, and it's just stuff like that. You know, you can think of like high security here. Do we have a lot of break-ins? Is there security system, security feeds, stuff like that? Man, I could probably talk for hours just on stuff you can do after you acquire this. But you know, I'm not gonna sit here and bore you to death. But moral of the story is there's steps that you need to learn prior to buying, while you're in the process of buying, and then after you buy. I mean, I could probably talk for hours on that stuff. I have a community with hours of this stuff on it, and I talk to you weekly basis, and we break down all the type of stuff. If you want to talk about it, just ask the questions if you was in the community. So, um, but yeah, if you want to buy a business, someone said, what's the steps I would do? I will first focus on the learning how to evaluate businesses, because if you don't know what a good business is or a bad business is, all of it's irrelevant. You know, if I meet a client or a client signs up for a coaching program or signs up for a one-on-one or they sign up for a consultation or something like that, before I get started, I'll ask them 10 questions. And I just want to see where their mind is. 10 questions, 10 points apiece, 100 points total. Out of probably not even gonna lie, probably out of the 50 to 100 times I've done it, no one's passed. Nobody. And it'd be simple. It don't be simple questions. It's just you don't know what you don't know about buying a business, right? You have to learn, and I do it like that too, because after the lesson's over or the lecture's over, I'll ask the same questions again at the end, and everybody gets 80, 90, or 100, because it's you like, and while they're answering the question, they're laughing like, "Wow, why did I say that?" And it's not the fact that their answers are right or my answers are right or whatever. It's just a new way of looking at stuff. You know, it's just you don't know what you don't know, right? So okay, cool. So yeah, you need to learn how to start evaluating. You need to learn how to either raise capital or find money, and or you need to work on your personal credit, and then you need to start working on your business structure, right? LLC, EIN. Do you have a proper business? I'll give you a proper business email. Think about it like this: if you was a business, if you had a business for sale, okay, if you had a business for sale and you email me from uh, Bruce55hotlips@gmail, no one's gonna take you serious, man. Nobody's gonna take you serious. But if your name was Bruce at um, LL, I don't know, Mad Hatters Logistics Group.com, people will take you, people gonna take it a little more serious. Or info at something. It's just stuff like that. You're shooting yourself in the foot before you even walk in the door. Before you realize you don't know how to evaluate deals, before you realize that you don't even know what to ask these people, before you realize that, man, this is probably a little harder than I want it to be. And what's bad part about it is a lot of people like me, I have to almost, I'm not gonna say beg, I have to, as soon as I start engaging with people, I have to say stuff like, hey, how you doing, sir? My name is XYZ. I'm from XYZ. I'm serious about buying this business or buying this piece of property. Could you please get back with me at your earliest convenience at this number or this email? I have to say stuff like I'm a serious buyer because there's a lot of tire kickers. And when I started, like, you can tell just levels of professionalism. And when you talk to people, you can tell, right? I'll even give you some more stuff. Like, just for example, you reach out to people on Facebook Marketplace sometimes, you don't even get no replies. What makes you different than me? Is this available? What do you think? Hey, how you doing, sir? My name is Mr. Richard. I am in the market for this particular item. I see you have it available. When's a good time for us to talk about this particular item? You see what I'm saying? It's not. It's just a level that you have to learn how to do. You have to be a little more professional, and a lot of people just don't know, right? And that's just conveying a message to a person. That ain't nothing about business structure. That's nothing about down payment. That's nothing about financing. That's nothing about SBA. That's nothing about nothing. That's just getting information from the owner about a business. They're not going to take you serious if you don't know what you're talking about. I promise you, because they start throwing around some jargon and you're just like, man, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. They're going to be like, yo, you wasting my time. All right. So, but I appreciate the question. So that kind of got me in the talking mood. I always like to answer a question and kind of get some things going, get some things talking. All right. So let's go. Anybody, and somebody else said, how many pages do you have? Most social medias, I have one. I will not DM you and say something about cryptocurrency. I will not DM. This is my disclaimer. I will not DM you and say I have a new amazing product. And even if you try to sign up for the free webinar, if you come or you don't come, I won't even message you afterwards, saying something like, "Hey, are you still interested?" No, I'm not that type. Right? I don't sell your information. I don't need to. I don't care about that. You want to come through? Come through. If not, when you leave, it is over. But yeah, I won't DM you or send you any information about that type of stuff. So that's not my style. But I appreciate you asking that question. That's a good question. Someone says I've been educating myself, but I would love a bit more insight when it comes to first. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's one thing to educate yourself on buying businesses, buying real estate, getting business funding, getting business credit. But a lot of people will still get into analysis paralysis. Yeah, I mean, I always use the swimming analogy all the time. I can go to the library and read every book on swimming. I can watch the Olympics hours on end. I can go talk to and associate with gold medal winners on swimming. I can have a best friend who lives next door who's a Navy SEAL. But it ain't nothing like getting your ass in that water. You got to get in the water to truly learn how to swim. And that's what a lot of people don't do. They're not getting in the water. They know everything about the water. They heard or heard some rumor about the water, but their ass is not in it. It's time to get in the water. Get in the water. Get in the water. Credit repair steps. Okay, cool. Good question. So with me, credit repair steps is pretty easy. I don't do like some of these other people that do a lot of this other stuff. It's pretty straightforward. What you do is you decide to get into the program. What I will do is I will send you a text or an email saying exactly what I need from you. The standard stuff, name, address, last four of your social, and whatever else, whatever other information. And I need a credit monitoring service because that's how we check to see if your credit is legit. So we're not going to go to your Credit Karma. We're not going to go to your Experian app and that kind of stuff like that. You just go to a credit monitoring service and it does pretty much everything there. So once we have that, then we get the disputing, right? It's 35 days per dispute, and we focus on 6 disputes. I figure if you can't get it in 6 disputes after going to 6 different people, because there's some things on people's credit that I don't care how good of a expert you are, you're not getting it off. And there's some things that are just itching to come off because of the certain laws and the consumer laws and that type of stuff, and the FTC and that type of shit. But you have to kind of know what you're looking for whenever you're doing that type of stuff. So one thing about me and my team is we do it all for you. You sign up and then you just sit back and wait until it starts hopping up. And as long as you're not contributing to the downfall of your credit, then you generally should see some progress, right? Just us correcting all the misspellings of your name can increase your credit score. I had one guy, I did his name correction, and it was 78 points. His name was misspelled, I want to say 19 times on his credit. So, yeah, you'll meet some people that do credit repair processes, and they'll you get into the program, and then they'll tell you what to do. I don't do that. I never really liked that. Why would I pay somebody to teach me how to do something why would I pay somebody to teach me something when the person that can just do it for you, So yeah, that's pretty much how the steps work. It's pretty self-explanatory. If I had to start to scratch all over with the 700 credit score, what would I do first? 3? If I had to start from scratch and I had a 700 credit score, I would business structure, raise capital from the banks, bird dog, wholesale, free cycle. I'm not even making this up. I'm not even joking, and I'm not even kidding, and I'm not just saying this for clicks, and I'm not just saying this shit just to make you please you and to sound cool. If I bird dog wholesale Triple threat house purchasing. I have a 700 credit score. If I have a strong credit profile, though, strong credit profile, business structure, raise capital, I would have an existing business. And I'm no crap. I have nothing, right? Let's say I need about $2,000, $2,000, no job, a 700 credit score. I would have $100,000 in probably 3 months, easily. 100 grand, 3 months, I'll be a millionaire in a year. No joke. I'm not joking. I'm not just saying shit just to get clicks and likes. I don't care about that. Wholesale, bird dog. Triple buy. Business structure. Raise capital. Business acquisition. Boom. I would with $2,000, I would have enough money for a down payment for a business in 30 to 45 days. And then I will execute and buy a business in the next 90 days. That process takes about 4 to 8 weeks. I would almost be having business deals lined up, knowing that I'm going to get the capital. But yeah, what do I know? But what's happening? What's happening? The man with the plan. I tried to, but yo, appreciate y'all for being here. So let's get some likes up. If you on any of the social medias, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, all that kind of stuff like that, just make sure you're following. And if you're on TikTok, make sure you just tap the screen for 15 seconds. That's the only price of admission I ask. And if you on TikTok or any of the social media platforms, click the link and then just go to my YouTube, because YouTube pays me. It's really not a lot, but it is, free money. It's almost my electric bill. It's probably like $500 a month. It's not a lot, but free electricity, right? Just for hanging out and talking. My window and solar cleaning business is not doing hot right now. I'm 24, a 700 credit score. I've never taken a loan. What I would do is, thank you for being here. What I would do is I would look into growth in that industry, and or either raise your prices too. I don't know if you're not doing good because your profit margins aren't high. I don't know if you're not doing good because you don't have enough employees. I don't know if you're not doing good because you don't have enough leads. I mean, if you have a decent amount of leads in theory equal conversions. So it's like if I have a grocery store, I won't say a grocery store. Let's say if I had a pizza parlor. I won't say a pizza parlor. I'll say, try to think of something where people can go in there and just look. Let's say if I owned a Best Buy, and my Best Buy store had 10 people an hour come through, right? The odds of someone buying something is probably like a 1%, a 10% conversion rate. So 10 people come in an hour, one person is going to buy something. Okay. Now let's say if I have the same Best Buy, but instead of 10 people come in every hour, I got 10,000 people coming in there every hour. Well, at a 10% conversion rate, that means you have 1,000 people buying something, right? Would you rather have 10,000 people coming in and buying 10,000 and selling to 1,000 people, or would you rather have 10 people when you sell to one person, right? It's just numbers. You need more people to come to your service. You might need to start running ads or looking at existing businesses that are doing similar numbers and kind of going from there. You're completely honest. You claim in your niche, it makes me nervous to try. Hey, well, you got to go out there and try some of this stuff, man. I mean, I don't know what's nervous about it. It's just business and money and numbers. You know, is it a lot of risk? Everything has risk. Driving a car has risk. You know, statistically, how many people get into car wrecks? What you do? Not drive? I'll wait. Of course you drive because you got somewhere to be. Just like buying real estate. If you want to be successful, you want to be rich, you want to have the Ferraris, you want to have the Lamborghinis, you want to have, you know, the boats, the yachts, the vacations, you got to take risk, right? I mean, it's about as simple as it gets. You're not going to do it from a 9 to 5. You know, the statistics on that, not a lot of people who work a 9 to 5 are wealthy. It's just not happening unless you got a high dollar skill. You got a high dollar skill, you bringing in $300,000 a year? Probably not. Average person in America makes $54,000 a year. You might can do it if you maximize your 401k and dump $1,000 to $2,000 a month into a ETF or something. But yeah, what at 55, 60? And then you shit 65. You don't want the money now, though. You gotta get some of that short-term money coming in, sir. Good evening. How you doing? YouTube checking in. I see y'all. Bro. I'll exchange bro with sir. Sir, if I have 150 credit line, should I go rental property to cash flow or businesses? That's where the rubber hits the road. That's where you decide. It's like the Anakin Skywalker. I don't know. I know this is kind of nerdy, but in Star Wars, Anakin Skywalker was taught everything there is to be a Jedi. Okay, and then he had a choice to either go to the dark side or go to the stay on the light side, stay a Jedi. And Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader, and he converted to the dark side. I mean, it's you know, some people say the dark side is the right side, and some people say the Jedi is the right side. But if you really, really are like a nerd, you know, you listen to the dark side purpose, and a lot of it does make sense. You listen to the Jedi side, some of that stuff makes sense, or some of that stuff don't make sense, or vice versa. You know, if I talk to you all day about buying real estate, a lot of stuff makes sense. Some of it, not so much. Some stuff, when I talk about buying a business, some of that stuff when it comes to buying a business makes sense. And then sometimes you're just like, I don't really like that portion. That's where you need to either become Anakin Skywalker or you need to become Darth Vader. You just got to choose. You got to pick what you want to do. About as simple as it gets. But what's the best business? What is the best starting business to buy? It's, when people ask that question, I'll always answer it like this. What is the best race? No. I won't even say the best race to date. Who makes the best food? Is it Hispanics, tacos, burritos? Is it Italian, spaghetti, lasagna? Is it Asians? Is it Chinese? You know, kung pao chicken and sweet and sour chicken. Is it Japanese, hibachi? You know, vegetables. Is it is it Americans? You know, burgers, hot dogs, I guess, whatever we're known for, which is not much. Is it Africans? What they eat? I can't. Fufu. Is it Jamaicans, oxtails? You know, everybody can comment a different answer, or everybody can say a different answer. All of that is subjective, right? And all I asked was, what was the best type of food? What's the best type of business? It's all subjective. Somebody probably has a roofing company and swears up and down about roofing company. Someone probably owns a Dunkin' Donuts and swears up and down about Dunkin' Donuts. I have a buddy who has 96 Subways. I can ask him about Subway. He'll probably, you know, talk about it till my ears bleed about Subways. You know, it's all of it is subjective. All of it is your personal preference. What do you, a better question, what do you find interesting? What could you do for free? Do you like food preparation? Do you like to cook? Do you like to bake? Do you like construction? Do you like design? Do you like working with your hands? Do you like talking to people? Are you a people person? Are you a people pleaser? Right? You got to ask yourself those questions before you can't ask somebody opinion on what you find interesting. It's just about as simple as it gets. Like one thing about me, I'm a sucker for home design. I love home interior design. I would want to buy. I've never seen one before. I would love to own a staging company or a home decor store, or even like a furniture store that specialized in like high end furniture. I would love it. I'd almost do it for free. You see what I'm saying? What would be the best business for me? I would do that all day long. If I ever find one, I've seen a couple before for sale, but they didn't make sense financially. I'm just waiting. And also, I love talking about real estate. So anything that has to do with real estate, I'm on it. So it just depends on you. It depends on you. Should I set an LLC up and credit accounts prior to searching? You should be doing everything at the same time, everything all at once. You know, it's almost like you should be. Some people they can focus on one task at a time. I like to try to knock out as much stuff as possible. You should already be having a LLC, S corp, C corp, or a sole proprietorship, depending on what kind of business structure you want. You should always be working on your structure for those businesses while also learning how to evaluate businesses. Because one thing about evaluating businesses, if you don't know what a good business is, you don't know what to look for. That's like asking a person who's 30 years old who's never eaten a meal in their life, and you're asking them to pick out a restaurant. I don't know. What's a good restaurant? I don't eat out. I don't know. Why are you asking me? Okay, cool. Let's start trying some places. Here's Japanese. Here's hibachi. Here, which same thing. Here's McDonald's. Here's Burger King. Here's Taco Bell. Here's Panera Bread. Here's Bucky's. Or here's TGI Friday. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't like that. That gave me heartburn. Okay, so now we're kind of okay. We're done with the Bucky's. We're not eating at gas stations no more because you don't like that. It gave you heartburn, right? All right. So what about these restaurants? All right. You like this? Okay. Well, I like the environment at these places. Cool. Let's start going to these type of places. It's you have to almost learn them processes and learn those systems before you start getting into that stuff. And then once you kind of got an ideal of what a good business is, just like real estate, you know, a lot of people buy real estate wrong because they don't know what they're doing. A lot of people look at properties wrong. I know a lot of people, whenever they say, I'll ask them, are you interested in buying real estate? Or they say, yeah, I'm interested in buying real estate. And I get the same thing every time. I've been looking in my area, but there's nothing to buy. There's nothing good to buy. And I'll say, I think that's bull still, bull stool. I know for sure A person like, if there's a person like me in every city in America, okay? There's a guy or a girl or a team or a company in every major city in America that's buying up everything. And they're making millions, sometimes even billions of dollars doing it. And you telling me you can't do it? What's the difference between them and you? Oh, they got the capital. That's bullshit. You don't need money. You don't need money to get in real estate. You just got to know what you're doing. You know? And a lot of people don't. So you have to learn. That's why I'm here. I try to teach you. When are my classes held? They're held so I got a free class. That's every Wednesday. The link in the bio. I also have a like a mentorship class where we meet every Friday and we sit in there and talk about whatever subject is up that week, because I try not to talk about the same stuff all the time, because it's like, all right, man, I get it. It's just like, to me, it's like repetitive and redundant. And it's more to money than just buying stuff that makes money. Management of stuff, evaluating, building credit profile, building business structure, LLC, EINs, S Corp, C Corps, Dun and Bradstreet, if you want to go down that road, net 30s, trade lines, net 60s, net 90s. I can rant for hours, right? I can get on real estate and talk about 15 different ways to buy real estate. I could probably sit here for 8 hours and bore you to death if you want it, and talk about 15 different ways you can buy real estate. I'll give you 5 ways you can buy real estate off the top of my head with no money, because you don't need it. You just need to know how to do it and not be scared to do it. Know how, execution. That's it. But if you want to click the free class, link in the bio, it should be Wednesday of next week. It'll be next week. If I had all my ducks in a row, how do you walk in the lender or private lender funds? How do you walk in the lenders funding? The lenders, private lenders fund? I don't know what you're saying, but I guess what you're saying is, how do you raise capital? Okay. Since I own a capital company, we raise capital for a lot of people. We're on target to have raised $2 million this year for people in their businesses and or either expansion of their business or buy a business. $2 million is, not a lot of money to people, but $2 million is $2 million, right? So what I would do is, you would come to me and you would say, hey, my credit is good. Okay, cool. We'll look at your credit, your business profile, and your credit profile and your credit score and your FICO score and that type of stuff like that. Let's say if it meets that, boom. All right. So now you need to have a business structure, right? LLC, which is one of the easiest ways to get it. Just say you get an LLC EIN, right? And then you need to focus on the attachments or the things to make you look like an official business. And I'll just say one off the top of my head. Let's say a business email. Okay. Let's say if you have a business email, because when you go to apply for funding, if you go to apply for funding and you put on an application certain things, the system will kick it out if it don't meet certain requirements. So for example, if you put business name and it's something like trucking, something like restaurant, it will kick the system. The system will automatically kick it out. Second thing, and I said it already, business email. So let's say you have a business email. What's your business email address? And you say, even if it's professional sounding, let's say it's BruceLogistics@gmail. Gmail, Ymail, Yahoo Mail, MSN, kick out. The system will kick that application out. Boop. So you need to know how to properly do it, which I will walk you through the whole process, right? Because, my job is to get you as much funding as possible. And then once we get the funding, then I help you liquidate. Because a lot of people will give you the funds, but won't teach you how to get the funds. They won't teach you how to get access to the funds. They'll just they'll teach you, or they'll give you the funds and then they say you're on your own. And then you try to liquidate lines of credit and it's like 30%, 35%. You're like, what the fuck? I'm not trying to pay 35% to liquidize. And then you have to go do something like, yo, buddy, I got to slide my card and then, send me the money back and that kind of crap. No, that's amateur hour. We don't want to do that crap. How many accounts you got, fam? I already said it, but I'll say it again. There are a lot of people out here using my name and likeness. If you get an email or a text from anybody saying they're me, more likely there's a high percent chance that it's not. Right? I'm not gonna just randomly DM you. Right? But now if you DM me and ask me a question, I'll reply back. Just go to the follower account and see a bigger account. But if it's not the bigger account or the account that you thought you messaged, then more than likely it's the wrong account. Don't ask me, $1 million, baby. Don't ask me. Give me a sec, peoples. Grant Cardone ain't got ish on this guy. Yeah. I hate bragging, but I think I'll blow Grant out the water. But I just need to sit down with him. I want to debate all the guys. Your guru, your guys, your financial guys that talk about this money thing. Okay, cool. Put me in the room with them. I'll even make it a subjective, like everybody in there get to cast a vote. And whoever wins will walk out of there with, I don't know, 50K. Any of them. I'll take them all on. There's only like 2 people that I probably would be not necessarily afraid of, but I don't even think none of them. I think 99% of everybody out there is trash. And I would debate and sit and have a good a live debate. Yeah, they don't want this. They don't want none of this. All your gurus are kind of trash. Guy hooked me on the H. Somebody else said the same thing. I get like multiple feeds. Someone says HML. Someone got me hooked on HML. What the hell is HML? Am I tripping? I don't even know what that means. Is it like a joke or something? Someone look that up for me, please. I don't even know what HML. Someone said, any guidance on a 28-year-old? Man, I'm behind on my comments. Any guidance on a 28-year-old that makes 65,000? Yeah. Cut your expenses in half and invest the rest. And don't tell me you can't be done, because I was 28 years old when I started my financial journey. And I told you to cut your expenses in half. I cut mine to a quarter. So I know it can be done. Well, Mr. Richard, that's bullshit. I don't want to hear it. A quarter. I was making in the military as a E3, E2, E3. I was making about when I started making some decent money, my first check was $400, $420. Sorry, $425 every first and 15th. So I was making $800 a month. So anybody in the chat making less than $800 a month, raise your hand now. I'll wait. This was after taxes. $800 a month. Now they was providing me room and board, and they gave me some food to eat, which no one ever ate it, but I did because I didn't want to spend my money. But after I moved out of the dormitory, they gave me they increased my check. It was 11.25. 11.25 or 20, I'll call it $2,300 a month. $2,300 a month is close to about $27,000 a year. And I was living off about $7 to $8 grand a year. No eating out, no Netflix, no cable, no entertainment, no vacations. I mean, some people say they want it. You know, people like the idea of wanting to be rich and successful, but they don't want to put in the work that rich and successful people do. You know, and then sometimes it's so weird. I didn't take a vacation or want to do nothing for like 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and I just got used to not doing stuff. And to this day, I'm almost like, go where? France, I'm good. Africa, man, I'm good. Hawaii, I'm good. Let's go to Disney, I'm good. I just don't want to, right? Because I got used to not doing anything. My body just, my mind, it's hard to turn it off when you do it for so long. It's kind of like the gift and the curse. I'm sorry behind on comments. I am behind on comments. So let's go. All right, so we got a question on here. I'm 18 years old. I have no current credit. I want to buy a cash flow business by the end of 2025. What do you think my first steps is? I don't know if you're working or not, sir. 18 years old. I don't know what you do for a living. I would start putting up money in saving, and then I would start working on building credit. The easiest 3 ways to build credit: get a authorized user on someone's credit, go get a gas card, or I have a list of cards that anybody who comes around me, I just give them the list and I just tell them, yo, start applying for these cards. They don't even check your credit. It won't be a hard inquiry, so your credit score won't get dropped, and they report to your credit. I know of 3 credit cards that will report to your credit. They're secure cards though, which is kind of like cool and bad. They're secure cards. You put down, secure cards mean you have to put money down. An unsecured card means you don't have to put money down. So you get the card, you put down $100, $200, whatever you want to do, and it's almost like an exchange. You put money on the card and they'll report to your credit. I've seen people get their credit profile shot up to damn near 60 points just by getting this one card, right? And I know 3 of them. And then also get gas cards, and or if you have a parent or a grandma or something that has good credit, ask to be an authorized user on their business cards. They won't give you the cards, but you'll still be on as an authorized user. Make sure they pay their bills and stuff on at that time. Shout out. There you go. There you go. Boom. Shout out. Hello. What's up? You know, it's kind of funny. The new social media sites, it shows, it's like so like laggy. And I hate how it like wants me to invite people up. Someone says, Should I purchase a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom townhome or purchase a 4-2 house for a rental property? First of all, I'll focus on cash flow. Typically, townhomes have HOAs, and HOAs are pretty much a cash flow sucker. You know, if you got a $300 HOA every month or a $250 HOA, let's say if one property is producing $500 cash flow and the other property is producing $600 cash flow, but it has a $250 HOA, so now your 600 goes to 3.25, 350, or whatever, you know, whatever the numbers are. I don't know. So now, and then what's crazy about it too is if you don't have a tenant in there, not only you have to pay the mortgage, now you got to pay HOA on top of that. So now you even losing more money a month. But townhomes can be a little cheaper to get into, and 3-bedroom, 3 baths, a 4-3 can command more rent than a 4-2 in theory, right? I would look at the rent rates on both those properties. I would look at the HOA, and I would look at potential cash flow on both of them to make an educated guess. That's what I would do. Let me see. Oh, Solo, what's happening? Oh, you Solo. Yeah, I need your stuff. I don't know if you did the credit one. I don't remember your name, your real name off the top of my head. But yeah, you need to send me your stuff in so we can get that credit process started. I love real estate. I have 4 units, plenty of ways to make money. Yeah. And then what's so crazy about real estate is once you understand how it works, once you get the bug, once you start getting going, and then it's kind of downhill from there. Hey man, thank everybody for being here, man. I'm bumping on these social media sites. I appreciate it. Damn, Twitter in the house, Facebook in the house, YouTube in the house, Twitch in the house. Dang. I appreciate y'all for being here, man. Thank y'all. Y'all can comment whatever questions you have. I mean, just throw it out there because social media tells me I got to be live. I'm gonna try to go live every day for a couple hours, and you know they get mad at me when I don't. They send me naughty letters or naughty text message, right? Is there a way I can get a one-on-one and get started on business? Yeah. Click the link in the bio, join the free class, right? I have different programs. I have different ways to do it. I have different, because everybody's different. And, I don't know where you are in your journey. And I have to kind of, guide you in the right direction because some people need more guidance than others. What's so crazy about one-on-ones is I've one-on-one people who were comically more successful than me, which is kind of crazy to even think about it. And I one-on-one people that was so far in the hole that it was almost hard for me to even see a way out of it. And it's just the different types of people that you interact with. One guy, I'm not gonna say his name, but he had multiple millions of dollars worth of real estate and multiple businesses that he ran. And he said, yo, man, we can't talk that long. I said, yo, man, you got me for, some time. He said, well, I ain't gonna talk that long because I know you're a busy person. I just wanted to pick your brain on some stuff and kind of see what you thought about certain ideas. So I said, okay, cool. And he kind of talked, and then I kind of gave my opinion on it. He was like, all right, we good. And then I gave him like 2 things, action things that he need to do. And then he texted me maybe a week after and was like, man, I didn't even know this was even possible. You're like revolutionizing the way I'm going to do business. And I was like, wow, thanks. I mean, it's just, sometimes you just want to bounce ideas off somebody who's like-minded. Some people don't have that type of person. And if I can be that for a person, then I appreciate it. I came over here from TikTok. Appreciate it. But yeah, just click the link in the bio, join the free class. But thank you for being here. Can you explain hard money lenders? Okay. Hard money lenders is when you look at to buy a piece of property and the hard money lender will loan you money on the asset. They will give you the money for the purchase price. They will give you the money for the construction, but they call them hard money. I heard two reasons why they call them hard money, because they loan money on hard assets like real estate, and the terms are a little harder. And it's short-term lending. The loan, the hard money lender objective is not to loan you money for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. A hard money lender terms generally are within a year. So for example, I always use basic numbers to make this a little easier. Say there's a property for sale and it's a real crap hole. And let's say it's $100,000. You're going to, you say, okay, cool, I want to buy this. How much work does it need? It needs $50,000. That's $150,000 total. And let's say the after repair value, ARV, is 219,000. I'll say 225 or something like that, just to make it easier. Everything in the neighborhood is selling for 225, but you got this property for 100 because it's a dumpster fire. So you go to the hard money lender and you say, hey, I want to buy this property. I have it under contract and I want to purchase it. Well, how much it costs? It costs $100,000. How much work does it need? It needs $50,000. Okay, this is what we're going to do. You need to put some money down. I need 10% of the purchase price. So 10% of the purchase price is 100,000. That's 10,000. Wow. $10,000. You need to come up with the down payment. So now you have, they put up the 90. You put up the 10. Boom. 90% or 10% down on the purchase price. So they buy the property. Boop. Now you need $50,000 to repair it, and they will give you the $50,000 to repair it. Generally, that comes within like a draw system or a payment plan. However, you and her or him come up with it. Sometimes they'll do, okay, you start working on the property, start getting some stuff going, and as you go along, I'll just reimburse you. Or sometimes they'll give you an initial draw. Okay, it's $50,000. Here's $20,000, and then after $20,000, I'm gonna come. Once that's gone, I'll come back and look at it, and then I'll give you another, 15,000, and then I'll come back and look at it, and then I'll give you the rest of it. It's a draw system. You pull a little bit, use it up, pull a little bit, because they're not just gonna send you a check for, oh, here you go, $50,000, and you going off to Vegas or something like that. They're not stupid. But that'll be $150,000 total. But their terms are a little hard money. So instead of you paying like whatever you pay for your loan now, let's say 7-8% or some crap, 6-7%, they're going to be generally like 10%, 11%, 13% or something like that. So I'll make it easy and say 10% just to make this conversation easier. You borrow $100,000 to buy it. You borrow $50,000 to renovate it. That's $150,000. 10% of $150,000 is $15,000. So your total is $165,000, but you're going to sell it for $225,000. So let's say $225,000 minus let's say $165,000, right? The difference of that is $60,000. You're going to pay a real estate fee. Say the real estate fee is, I don't know, 20 grand or something like that. And what other fees and stuff you got, it's going to be about 20 grand. So now you walk away with $40,000. So who made money in this process? So let's go. You put 10% down. So pretty much you got the property. Someone probably wholesaled it to you, or an investor sold it to you. The investor made money. The hard money lender gets their 15%. You get $40,000 because you sold the property. Your construction guy who renovated the property for $50,000, they probably, made $15,000, $20,000 off of that. The real estate agent made their fee. The closing agent, the title company, and the person who just bought a new property or bought a property that's completely renovated, they win. That's why hard money lenders do so well, because everybody in that process makes money. You bought a house, pretty much renovated it and sold it. You created damn near 8 jobs, and you fed a lot of people. Once you start doing that and getting your name out there and just start doing stuff like that, you will make so many friends and you'll make so much money, because now they're like, you need another property? I still got some more money. Come on now. That contractor, yo man, I'll flip this property. You got another property? The investor, yo man, I got another property to sell you. Right? Real estate agent, I'll sell that property again. Homeowners, people need houses, especially when they're renovated. So now everybody makes money in that system. So that's how hard money lenders make money. And a lot of people probably even know hard money lenders even exist. So if you ever get bored, whenever you get off here, or just do it, you can do it real quick and come back. Get off the app, search hard money lender your city, and you count how many you see, and then come back and tell me. And you say, wow, damn, I didn't know this shit even exists. Yeah, of course you didn't. That's why you learn. Someone said cap. Man, get the hell out of here. Oh shit. Last property I did hard money. I don't like to tell my business, but I did well. We'll leave it at that. Are you mostly a real estate investor? Are most real estate investment loans 15-year loans? No, they're mostly 30. What about that old man in Florida? I don't know what that means. I'm so behind on the comments, I apologize. Oh, hit my line. HLM. I'm slow. I'm old too. What age did I become a millionaire? It's kind of weird. I think if I had to give it a number, I think it was 32. If I had to give it a number, I think it was 32. But I still don't feel like it's just a metric. Actually, yeah, I started at 28. No, 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 no. What was it? 28. I joined the military at 24. I got out of the debt my sister and my mom got me in at 25. I saved up $10,000 by 28. Then I started. I bought my first property at 28. I saved up $10,000 by 27. That's it, because I was at year 3. 28, I bought my first property. And then 29, I bought my second. And then I just kept buying. I bought a lot of them that year. And I think I was like 32. And I did the math on it. And I went and showed the missus. I was like, I think we're millionaires. She was like, why? I said, look at the numbers. What does that say? She's like, yeah, I think we are. It's like, oh, don't feel like it. I got problems just like everybody else, right? Someone said I'm 28 years old with over $100,000. Brother, you rich and don't even know it. You can almost ETF $100,000. Wait till you're 65 years old and you'll be sitting on a gold mine. You know what? I'll do the math on that. 28 years old. 28 years old. I'll even do it realistically. 100,000 wow. ETF 38, 48, 38, 48, 58. 58. You could almost take your $100,000, put it into a simple compounding interest ETF at 55 years old. You'd be worth $5.6 million. You can just work the rest of your life doing whatever you want while that $100,000 make you super rich. And then what's crazy is that interest after 30 years, we'll be making you $712,000 a month. $712,000 a year. So at the age of 55, you will be making $715,000 a year, which breaks down to about $65,000 a month. At 65 years old, you can almost buy, live, do whatever you want. And then what you should do is set up a trust and then put the $5.6 million into the trust, and then let the trust roll over to all your family members, your direct heirs, and they'll be making $720,000 a year for the rest of their lives. So you'll set up your family. You got $100,000. You can set up your family lineage for the next 10 generations if you did it right. And then I'll put a clause in there, say something like, you got to get a college education, you can't do drugs, you can't be addicted to some kind of alcohol, and you can't go to jail. You can't be, you can't be overweight or something like that. And then they'll do that whatever you say, because they want that $720,000 every month or every year. But hey, what do I know? And then you can continue. You ain't got to worry about going out here and hustling and working and doing those other kind of crap. You can just sit back and relax. 34 years old, is it too late? Hell no, it's never too late. Do a service-based business. Like, I'm trying to get caught up on comments. I'm so behind. Service-based business like laundromat, self-storage. Yeah, do whatever you want. What would you say to someone starting slow? There's no such thing as slow. Just start. I want to buy a small business. Yeah, you just got to get started. How would an individual pull out profitable interest of a stock without affecting the principal interest? I don't know if that's a serious question, but whenever you invest into a compounding interest account, the asset takes the interest and reinvests it into the principal. So, for example, you have $100,000 in a stock or a compounding interest account. The compound interest, let's say that year it made 15%, right? 15% of $100,000 is going to be 15,000. So you can either take the draw, take the 15,000, or you can reinvest it to the principal. So now you have 115,000. And now let's say that next year it does 16%. 16% of 115 is, I don't know, 17,500 or something. I don't know. Now $17,000 can be distributed back to you, or it can be reinvested. So now instead of 116, now you have 132. Now 15% the next year, and it just keeps on accumulating, right? And then one day you have $5 million or something like that, and then you say, hey, you're still paying interest, right? Yeah. Okay. Instead of putting that interest into the principal, I want to take a interest check, or I want to receive payment from the interest. And they'll say, okay. So the principal won't grow, but you'll get a check. And it's really dependent upon the year's return. So what's crazy is a lot of people don't understand that either. So the stock market fluctuates. It goes up and down. Some years, man, and you have to pretty much explain to people or break this down to people. Some years, the stock market does 39%, 40%. And then some years it loses 10%. But on average, it does 10.1%. He said, great answer. What do you mean? All my answers are great. So you have to average it out. Let's say you have an account with $1 million in it. 1 year it'll do, and you just want to receive an interest check every year for the rest of your life. You got $1 million in there. 1 year it'll do like 39%, and you'll get a check at 39% of $1 million is 337,000, which is way more than the average stock market of 10, 12, 14, whatever hell index fund or mutual fund or national stock tracker. You look at SP 500. And then the next year it'll do negative 10%. So you're like, well, damn, okay, I'm not gonna get no money this year. But you got 3.5 times that the first year. So you have to like be rational with your money. You have to understand that you was only supposed to get $100,000 year one, right? But you got $300,000 year one. So that $300,000 is going to pretty much have to last you whatever the average of your cycle is. If the average cycle is doing 10% a year, you got 30% the first year, you might need to hold on to this money, ration it out for the next 3 years until you start getting more money. But if you know what you're doing, it's pretty much not a hard concept to figure out. If that makes sense, kind of. You're talking about good answer. That's a good question, sir. I appreciate that. Someone said they just signed up. I appreciate you. See you there. I appreciate it. Michael, what's happening? I see you. CMC, my brother from another Chuck E. Cheese mother. What type of trust? That's subjective. You have revocable trust and living you have revocable trust and living revocable trust. You know what? I'm not getting into trust. I don't want to talk about that. It's certain trust you can set up. If you want to set that stuff up when you have $5 million in an account, get with a lawyer. It's like trying to explain to you a plan that's not wanting you to be effective for the next 30 years. I get it, but you know. Someone said 21 hard money lenders in Harlem zip code. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I like people to go. I like people to go and look up, you know, and fact check what I'm saying. Because once you fact check and you say, wow, this guy, there are places around here. And then this is what I want you to do. Search hard money lenders in your city, find the closest one to you. And every time you drive by that place, because you're living by it, you'll see it almost weekly or every other day or something. I want you to look at the environment, look at the building, right? Does it look like somebody in there's helping somebody get by funding millions of dollars worth of real estate to help people buy stuff like that? It's just like a regular little office building. It's probably just some little bitty old shack, some little old building, and they in there doing millions of dollars worth of work. You know what I mean? Never mind, I'll find someone like you. To don't forget me. What kind of existing business can you buy in Texas? There's millions. You know, the bad part about it is I wish I wasn't live on all other social media platforms. I found a business in Texas that I shared with my community or students, whatever you want to call them. And it was in Texas. I forgot what it was though. I literally forgot what it was. And shit, give me a second. I can look it up. Oh my goodness, come on, type, killer. I wish nothing for the best for you to don't forget me. No, this was in California. Okay, yeah, here we go. It was a fast food restaurant in Dallas. The asking price was $130,000. It was in a food court in a busy mall in Dallas. They wanted $130,000 for it. The owner profited $110,000 last year. You buy it for $130,000, it profits $110,000 in Dallas. I mean, some stuff you can't beat, man. I buy something for 100 and I get all my money out in a year. Can't beat it. He said, just go Google businesses for sale. You know, it's always people that would ask me how to properly what to find businesses. Dude, you find business anywhere. That's like asking somebody what website do you go to find cars? What website you go to find houses? I can name 100 websites off the top of my head where to find houses. I can name 100 websites to go buy cars, right? Better question, are you qualified to buy a car? Are you qualified to buy a house? Are you qualified to buy a business? Because if you're not qualified, why you want to know where cars and businesses and houses are? Because you're just looking. It's irrelevant. Now you're gonna ask, well, what is qualification? Okay, and then I'll walk you through that, and you say, okay, I'm qualified then, or I'm not qualified. I'll work on that. And then I say, okay, cool. Here you go. Here's the business right here. Is this a good business? I don't know. Okay, now I got to teach you that too. You see what I'm saying? It's like a rabbit hole of things that you need to do. And a lot of people don't see it as that. They just say, oh man, let me go in here and type and message all these people and ask about a business. And they're messaging from their Ymail or Gmail account, trying to buy a $5 million business and got 15K in a whack crypto, trying to buy a $1 million business. No business structure, no freaking business attachments. Don't know how to read a P&L. Don't know how to engage. Don't know if it's a broker for sale by owner. Don't know how to negotiate owner financing. Right? It's not just something that you just wing. Right? You're not gonna. You might can wing a car. You're not going to wing a house, and you're for damn sure not going to wing a business. You got to be taught this stuff, man. Right? You might can go to a real estate agent and they'll walk you through the process, but they get compensated for that. And you come to me and want to know how the process works, it's the same thing. I want to be compensated for my time, right? Do you work for free? I don't. Right? I am now technically, but it is what it is. Man, you've been 1031 exchanging this land for 15 years. I'll be happy when you sell it because you won't come in here and tell me. I'll be happy to sell it. Oh, you offer owner financing? Do you think starting a storage unit business is great entry-level way to get into real estate? The best way to get in real estate, to me personally, is your first primary home. You're going to put the person more likely will walk you through the process. Secondly, it's less credit requirement. Thirdly, less down payment requirement. And fourthly, you're going to need a place to live. So more than likely, you can afford it if you get financed approved for it. So it's like, and a lot of people always want to run before they crawl. Hey man, I'm trying to buy an apartment complex before I have a primary house. I'm like, well, why? Because I'll just stay in one of the units. It's like, well, why? Why would you buy a 20-unit apartment complex to save $1,000? So let's say if every unit on a 20-unit apartment complex rents for $1,000, okay? That's $20,000 a month. So instead of you making $20,000, you make $19,000 to save $1,000. You're bringing in $20,000 a year. You're trying to stay in a one-bedroom apartment with all your tenants. Come on, dog. Come on. Rent out the other unit, make enough $1,000, go get your own freaking house. Your house payment is gonna be what, $2,000? Hell, 1,000 of it can go from the money you just made from the rent of the unit that you just moved out of. It's kind of a weird logic to have, you know. But as to whoever question that was, yeah, to me, the easiest way to get into real estate is to buy your own home. You build up equity fast. You know, this is what's crazy too. It's always going to be a reason why you shouldn't do something. There's always. But the people who make money in this game are the people that do shit. It's about simple as it gets, right? If you was waiting, like, why didn't you buy a house in 2022? Oh man, it was COVID. Why didn't you buy a house in 2023? Oh man, it was a housing. It was too hard to find properties. Why didn't you buy a house in 2023? Oh man, the interest rates are high. Why didn't you buy a house in 2024? Oh man, it's election year. Why didn't you buy a house in 2019? Oh man, you know, it's like it's always something, always. But if you'd have bought a house in 2019, 2020, 21, or 22, you have damn near double of equity in your property right now. So all that shit you was talking about, man, you know, interest and buying frenzy and let's say if you bought a house that was $300,000 and you paid $50,000 over what it was worth. 2021, you bought a $300,000 house, but the house was for sale for $250,000. 2022, 2021, that house now is worth almost probably $500,000 to $600,000. Now, who's the dummy? The person who paid $50,000 more for the house that you didn't want to pay $50,000 more, or the person that has $300,000 worth of equity on a home they overpaid for $50,000? I'll wait. I don't need to wait. I know the answer. The answer is the person with all that freaking equity in their property. So now they can go get a HELOC, home equity line of credit. They can do a refinance. Well, they do a HELOC, 90% LTV, meaning that they can cash out $200,000, $215,000, $230,000 in their property. Now, what could you do with $230,000, Mr. or Mrs.? I can invest anything. I can take all this money. Just give me the money. I'll figure it out. There's $230,000 because you bought a property that was overpriced 4 years ago. Make that work. Now let's same thing with a refinance. It's worth $600,000. You refinance for $550,000. Your mortgage payment goes up, but now you cashed out $300,000. Wow. Now what you gonna do with the $300,000? Wow, and it's tax free because you don't pay capital gains tax on debt. Right? So now you don't pay capital gains tax on that debt. Now you got $300,000. You might got a higher house payment, but $300,000, you can go out there and buy. If you put $20,000 down, you can go out there and buy 15 units. Let's say every unit paid you $500. That's $7,500 a month, or 90 grand a year. You took money out of your home. That was your primary. You went out and bought more property, and now that property cash flows 90 grand a year. You could almost quit your job now just because you bought a house in 2021. It's crazy to even think like that. And I just broke down a play that you can do. And a lot of people say, oh man, I can't do that. But you couldn't have bought a house in 2021, 2020? Or you can sit there and just complain about damn interest rates. Or you can sit there and complain about prices too high. Or you can complain about there ain't no good houses. Or you complain that, oh man, these houses are going for over asking price. I'm not paying over asking price. Now look at you. Who's the dummy now? Numbers lie. Well, people lie, but numbers don't. And now what's your excuse? Let me guess. If you don't have a primary home now, let me guess your excuse. It's an election year. I'm trying to see what's going on with China, or the interest rates, or the Feds, or what's the excuse now? What's the excuse? Like every time. And you know, it's kind of weird when I talk to people. I tell people, I say, man, don't give me excuses, man. I don't want to hear it. I do not. Like, it makes me so upset to hear people bitch about unforeseen circumstances or complain about stuff they cannot control. I can't control the election. I can't control the interest rates. I can't control the housing market. I can't control none of that. All I know is what's going on right now at this moment. Do what's best for you right now. Right now. Right now. If you can afford a house with these interest rates, buy a freaking house. If you can't afford a house, you need to start making more money. Or you need to go get a down payment. Work some more money and then cut the fat, get you into a primary house. Because real estate ain't going nowhere. It's not going anywhere. A good analogy I like to use is I have a family member who has a home, and they had a home since 2012. And they said, yo, man, I'm thinking about buying a second home. I said, to rent it out? I said, yeah. I said, well, what you waiting on? Oh, man, I'm kind of nervous about it. And I said, do this. Go onto your phone, find I don't remember what it was. Find a home that you're interested in, just like it. Find like 3 or 4 properties that you're interested in. And anybody can do this too. Find 3 or 4 properties that if you had a limited amount of money, you would more than likely 99% chance buy. Just like it, right? Go to your notes on your phone, put in the address, the date, today's date, and how much that house is for sale for. Set a reminder in your phone for 4 years from now or 5 years from now. You'll get a random text and say, check your notes or put on your calendar 5 years from now or something. And check that same property. I told him to do that. 2017 came up, whatever year it was. I think it was 2018 or 2019. I forgot what it was. He said, yo, man, I remember this property was for sale. I was going to buy it for like 180. This shit's almost $300,000 now. I said, yeah, it's time. He said, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to just do it. They was making a decent amount of money, and he just did it. He bought it in 2018, 19. I don't remember the year, man. It was a while back. So he got the property, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it's about 6 months to a year ago. He said, yo, man, that property I bought is damn near doubled in value. I need to buy another one. I said, shit, you should have bought 3 of them at the time I told you to. But, you know, you can't. Some people, you just can't tell them what to do, man. Some people, you present them information and they don't listen, you know. But moral of the story is, people, if you want to get into real estate, your first house needs to be the house you live in. And then everything else will you kind of learn the process. You learn how the system works. You learn how it goes. Then you can start getting into some rental properties, right? I don't recommend people buying real estate without even owning the primary home, unless you're damn. Only person that talks like that is ass clowns like Grant Cardone and stuff like that. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. I sold my primary residence to buy. But shut your ass up. That shit's dumb as hell. The majority of Americans ain't gonna do that. You sound like a clown. But hey, what do I know? is the maintenance cost on a home. My personal experience, maintenance costs, equity, and appreciation will always trump maintenance, right? I mean, think about it like this. I mean, and stop me when I'm lying. Let's say if a house called, let's say if you bought a house in 2020 and it was 250,000. A $250,000 house in 2019, 2020 is probably worth about almost $500,000 now, right? About around about. If you want to give me some areas or some specifics in your area, I know for sure a majority of homes doubled in the last 5 years with inflation. A lot of them went up in value a lot, a lot, a lot. I made a lot of money. I already know they did, right? So let's say that's 200. I'll even make it easy. I say $200,000 worth of equity over the last 5 years, right? That's $40,000 a year. You're telling me the house maintenance is 40 grand a year or $3,300 a month? That's damn near the house payment. And that's not even including pay down. You borrowed $250 to buy the house. You probably only owe $225 now. So not only you to get $250,000 worth of equity, you get $25,000 in pay down. And the tax ramifications of owning a house. I mean, come on, dog. Come on, man. Anyways, let's get to some other questions. I don't want to sit and talk about real estate all the time. That's why I like talking about other stuff in the communities, because I break all this stuff down. So anyways, for those who just got here, I'm live on all social media platforms, 2 Facebook accounts, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, X, Instagram, which keeps kicking me off, and on TikTok. I would appreciate it if you go to YouTube and watch from there, even if you just have it on in the background, because it pays me to be there, right? Twitch was talking about filling out some application to be on there too, but I didn't do it. I don't even care about it. So, but I know YouTube, sends me a little bit of money. If you find any value in this, that's fine. I appreciate it. You can go to YouTube and watch from there. I'm about to get off in a little bit though, but you can at least go there and at least see the profile. Click the link in the bio and then go to YouTube, or you can just type in The Rich Get Richard and you can see me from there. Also too, you can also hold a free class if you want to sign up. When you click the link, it's called Be Your Own Boss. You want to sign up there, you kind of go from there. We can go. It's a free class. I don't sell your information. I don't do nothing with it. But if you're interested in learning more about buying a business, buying real estate, fixing your credit, getting business funding, investing, 401k, any of that stuff, we talk about it all. We talk about everything. So yeah, I appreciate people coming over from YouTube's, the internets. Anyways, someone said, what is a good, what would you name your holding company? What's crazy about that is I got asked multiple times what's a good holding company name. And I kind of got tired of explaining it to people. So what I did is I made because there's more than just your name of your holding company, your LLC, S Corp, C Corp, sole proprietorship, whatever you want to do. There's more than just naming it. You need to structure it properly, right? You need to work on your registered agents, work on your managers, work on getting your EIN, your tax identification number, working on business address, business, whatever, everything that's attached to your business. And what I did is I got tired of people asking me. So I said, okay, y'all, I'm going to come up with a slideshow, and anybody that joins this community, I'm going to just give you the slideshow for free. So when you get in there, first thing it'll be like, you welcome. You need to come up with a name. These are the easiest ways to come up with a name. Think of this, or use this adjective, and never use any of these stuff. And I have like keywords that you should never use in your business structure. And then I talk about registering with your Secretary of State if you want to register your Secretary of State, but there's faster ways to do it than registering through your Secretary of State. So it just depends on you and depends on how you want to do it. And then there's other ways to do it too, like going through like sites like GoDaddy and stuff like that. Not GoDaddy. Yeah, I think it is GoDaddy. Is it GoDaddy? No, LegalZoom. You can go through sites like that, but they're kind of expensive. I can show you cheaper and easier ways to do it. And then you got to focus on, all of the other kind of stuff like operating agreement and that type of crap. But I'm not gonna get into it. But yeah, I made a slideshow and it pretty much walk you through the slides. Somebody in the community told me, say, yo man, I need to come up with a LLC name and get everything attached to it so I can go for business funding. I said, okay, cool. Here's your slideshow. Go through it and let me know when you're done. It was like 45 minutes later. And it's like, yo, I'm done. It's like, what do you mean you're done? I did it all. Business, everything attached to the business, requested the EIN from the IRS, had the LLC. I mean, just everything. I was like, 45 minutes, damn. He said, I'm waiting for this, and he was pretty much done. So that's why I create stuff like that, because I like people to I like to be streamlined. I don't want to be sitting around waiting all day for stuff to happen. I just opened up a holding company in 2 days. Too easy, right? Do you help with all that, or are we on your own? I don't know what I mean. Yeah, if you need help, yeah, I can help you with it. Just depends on what you want to do. Like, I don't want no nuances, questions. Some of this stuff you just got to figure out, but I will get you pointed in the right direction. It ain't gonna be like holding your hands like a toddler. It'll be, okay, go to these websites, fill out these forms, and let me know when you're done. Okay, I'm on section 5. Like, dude, come on, man, figure it out, man. I'm on section 3.1. I mean, okay, it says your address. What's your address? Let me see. Do you believe the FOMO investors who haven't yet invested into NVIDIA should start looking into NVIDIA tag amongst companies such as computer chip manufacturers for quick results? I first of all, I like NVIDIA. NVIDIA is pretty much the hottest thing since sliced bread. If you don't own, I'm not going to tell you what to invest in. I don't want people to come for me, but if you've never heard of NVIDIA and or don't have any stake or any money in that company, you are probably living under a rock. I call it the Terminator chip. It's like the chip that they're going to build Skynet out of. If Skynet came out of a company, it'll be NVIDIA. It's pretty much the biggest and baddest AI chip processor manufacturer in the world. So what do you think about my $17 million 1031 exchange? I don't know what that means. You want me to buy it? I don't know what you're asking me. I mean, yeah, sell it and then exchange your profit. I don't know what that means. Well, you either gonna have to pay. You sold the property for 17 million. Okay, I don't know the details of the deal, what you're saying, but I'll just say it like this: you have a $17 million property. You're trying to sell it, I think, and you're gonna have to pay capital gains tax on that when you sell it, or unless you do a 1031 exchange and roll over the profits to something else, or you can just refinance or take a HELOC. You won't take a HELOC on that. You can just refinance the property at 75% LTV, which 17 million, you probably get, I don't know, 12 and a half maybe. And then you take the 12 and a half and you can build on it, or you can just buy something else that make money, but you'll have a $12 million payment on it. You probably just want to get out of it. So either you can sell it, but one thing about land is not super desirable. It's nothing sexy about it. You buy it and it sits. Nobody's really making money off land unless you're a developer or you're going to subdivide it. You ever been driving through the country and you see a sign that says land for sale and it be there for 10 years? That's why. It's just not it's a slow burn. You can make a lot of money whenever you do sell it. It just takes a long time to get your money. And that's if someone's willing to even pay what you want for it or what you think it's worth, right? You break it down over the acreages, and then you break it down over what's selling in the area or what's sold in the area. And then people are going to come in there and they're going to try to lowball land deals anyways. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm using 3.5 as a down payment. Looking for $15 million using, yeah, I guess. That ain't. So you have 3.5. Oh, okay. So you have 3.8 that you want a 1031 exchange, so you don't have to pay capital gains tax on the 3.8. So now you're trying to roll over $3.8 million into a deal that's 20% down, which would be 15 million. Okay, let me do the math on that. 3.8 times 20%. So come on, computer. Come on, World Wide Web. 3.8 times 5. Yeah, 19 million. 15 to 17 would kind of do it too. You can put by 25%. So 3.8 times 4, 15.2. Yeah, you can do 25% down. Okay, I see what you're trying to do. Yeah, are you trying to? Yeah, buy an apartment complex. What do you mean? I don't know what you want to do, Lewis. There's $15 million apartment complexes out there. Somebody will give you a loan. If you need me to do it or help you find somebody, yeah. But I ain't cheap and I ain't free. Just letting you know. But yeah, if you want to, yeah, you just need to get financing or get pre-approved. Get your credit right. Credit and make sure that down payment is ready. Get that 1031 exchange form ready. And pop a property. But now if you're talking about like developing and stuff, like, dude, I'm good, right? Just buy something that already cash flows. Why finance something that doesn't make money as soon as you buy it? You're just buying a headache. I think that's what it is. If that makes sense. I think that's what you're saying. Best middle class business to start. Oh, hold on, I got you. We don't start businesses, brother. We just buy existing ones that yields great results with less repercussions. Right? There's risk in everything. Best middleman business? I don't know. I don't look at it like that. To me, a middleman is providing a service from like B2B or something like that. But B2B businesses are some of the best businesses to get into. So it's one thing to service a customer, and it's another thing to service a business. Servicing a business can make good money. Servicing people are wishy-washy, right? Businesses are always going to be around. You know what I mean? Let me see. If we get 16 million, I refi in 12 months at 18.75. Yeah, you could. That refinance fee is going to be nuts, but I wouldn't refinance until I got a better interest rate. Commercial loans are actually doing pretty good now in comparison to but I don't know what you want to get into, man. You help us find the businesses? Yeah, I'll show you exactly where to find them, how to find them, what areas to look, what to look for, how to scale them, how to buy them, how to evaluate them, how to negotiate, how to reach out to owners, what to say to the owners, how to do the due diligence, what the due diligence looks like, and I get you over the finish line. That's the objective here, right? But I hit my social media quota for YouTube, but I appreciate you. Great answer. No, man, great question. Rocket boys, Rocket boys. I need to look up your account too. I ain't forgot about you. I ain't forgot about none of you, but it's all good. But yeah, so I'm about to get off here. I have to get off before the timer goes off because they put me in jail. I really get in trouble when they do that. So I appreciate y'all for watching on social media. I probably made my light bill money for the day, $200. Shout out to Twitter for being here. Appreciate that. Wow, it's a lot of people from Twitter. Shout out to YouTube. YouTube pays me to be here. So if you're watching, search The Rich Get Richer. If you find value in any of the stuff, at least go in there and turn on your notifications and or just make sure you're following or just go look me up over there. I got a lot of stuff over there, good stuff going on. A lot of long form content. Twitch, thanks for being here. Facebook, I see you. Business account, Facebook, I see you too. One of my Instagrams is down, but I need to figure that out. I don't know how to make it. I don't know how to do it. But thank you for being here. So yeah, I met my quota, and thank y'all for watching. And later, dudes. Oh yeah, if you just got here too, click the link in the bio and join the free class. You gotta give a shout out.